Hi, I'm Tony Bellamy, and welcome to Raw. I am the host tonight. You may know me in another show, but we're not going to talk about that. We are here tonight to talk about the music of Jazztronauts, an exciting exploration, improvisational jazz band on Staten Island, not from London. And they're doing some incredible music out here. I've heard some of them playing the music that they have, and what we're going to do right now is introduce Jazztronauts. Start off with Josh, I guess.
Great to be here. I'm Josh Glazer. I play trumpet in the group.
AJ Pantaleo, I play drums.
My name is Pat Nowak, I play guitar. My name is Rory Merola, and I play bass.
Cool. I've been listening to you guys in the back, and just to tell you, I was listening to the music. The music is fantastic. I wouldn't say that. I really mean it. I was listening to and I even heard I don't know who plays the bass, who's doing a little bit of Jaco Pastorius.
Yeah, that was me.
I heard, because I'm a big Jaco fan of Weather Report.
Couldn't help myself.
And I was like, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
that.
So, listening to you guys between the sets of how the show's going to be edited, they're going to find the music that you play all kinds of different ranges in the style of music that you have. What would you say is your style?
It's hard to kind of put it in a box, but it's just a contemporary take on jazz. We intentionally don't play any standards. We just improvise everything and just more or less wing it on stage because it's more exciting that way. And so it's hard to kind of put a genre on it, but it's closest to jazz.
It's kind of like, I'm a huge fan of New Orleans style drumming.
Gotcha.
I'm a huge fan of New York City hip hop.
Okay.
He's a big fan of electronic music.
Okay.
So kind of all comes together like that as far as live. Yeah, it is improv. We do like to play off of the room and stuff like that.
Okay.
And, it's fun for these guys too. We do a rotating cast of musicians.
So you guys come in, how long?
A lot.
But let's talk about that. How long has Jazztronauts been together? When did it start? And how long have you known each other and all that stuff?
He first approached me 2 summers ago, which should be a little over a year ago.
Okay.
And about forming a group, and said he could line us up with gigs right away, and that's pretty rare in the music industry to step on stage and start getting paid from day one.
Yes.
So it's hard to turn that down, but
right.
But yeah, so we've played with a few different rhythm sections, I guess you could call it, with the guitar, bass, keyboard players. But it's actually pretty freeing that way because it's just a refreshing twist every time we get together, and it's new. It's like a new cast.
Exactly.
And the music that you're playing, like you said, you had some electronica, you've had some improvisational of the music, and it's almost danceable. Listening to what you guys were doing, love the style. And we're going to hear more of what you're playing about coming up next, I guess. And this is a crazy format, but I like what you're doing, hearing more, and we're going to find out where we can see you play. That's the good thing. How do we get to your music? Coming up next. Welcome back to Raw Music, and we are here with Jazztronauts. And could you tell me what we just heard, the first cut?
The first cut, well, we actually come up with everything on the spot.
Oh.
So that's just a little riff that I think Pat came up with during warm-up sound check, and we just said, that sounds good, let's start with that, because we're always kind of scrambling for ideas when we're on the spot. So the hardest part is just picking a direction and going with it. We usually just kind of scroll through the 12 keys when we're on stage, so it takes some of the guesswork out of it, but it really is all improvised.
So it goes with the flow, how you guys are feeling that day, and you go with it from there. One of the most things I would like to know is, how did you come up with the name Jazztronauts?
Originally, it started as a trio, and we were just going by our last name. So whoever we were playing with, we would just build it, right?
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba. I don't know. We were throwing back like a bunch of different names. I kind of had like the space vibe going, especially because Josh uses a pretty cool effect on his trumpet usually. It's not dry, as you know. So it's and I was like, that's kind of cool. It's just creating space. It's a little trippy. I don't know. We threw around a couple different things. I think I threw a couple of stuff with like planets involved, right? Josh was like, that don't work.
The runner-up was actually the Jupiter project.
Oh, the Jupiter project was the runner.
Goodness.
I was like, but then that sounds like an indie rock band, and I was like, not really the vibe. So
the vibe you guys sound almost like a movie soundtrack. Listening to you in the background, I was like saying, man, that would go in some mean films. I could hear the trumpet that you had. I heard there was a Sidney Pollack, I think he was the director in the 60s and 70s, and I could hear a New York vibe and hearing you play the trumpet and where you guys were going.
Yeah,
I said, man,
that.
I'm digging that flow that you cats are doing, and it's exciting to hear. But I got to ask you something. You guys are young guys. I'm an old dude. Why jazz?
Just kind of like fits our personality, I think. Our vision statement is to just be, like I mentioned, totally improvised and free. I think in a lot of our other personal projects, we feel boxed in.
Okay.
And so a big point of this group was to just have fun and play what you feel. And obviously trumpet lends itself well to a jazzier background, so it fits. I mean, we've played with different, like we mentioned, different rhythm sections, and the stuff that just lends itself well to what we agree is the mood tends to be jazzier stuff, and it's really just a feel thing. It just feels, like you said, it gives you that emotion of like a movie score or something like that. So it's always important to us to have those undertones, and it's very intentional.
I was hearing that I heard the colors and the different changes of the music, the arrangements that you're doing just so smooth. And I hate the music smooth jazz, by the way. Gag. But the music was happening.
Right.
It wasn't forced.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful flow. And I'm sure you guys can go to all different ranges. That's why you guys came together, because of being free. And not too many people know how to come back to the concrete and back to the free and back and forth. So listen, we're going to go to the next set of music here on Raw and Jazztronauts. And great music, man. I got to tell you.
Thanks.
Strange, bravo. Continue. And we're going to talk about where we can see you.
Great.
More music. Raw Music. I'm your host, Tony Bellamy. I'm here with Jazztronauts right here in the studio. Guys, I want to get into quickly is, how did you get started in the music, each one of you, in the instruments? Did you start off originally with the particular instrument, or did you fade into it by chance? Start off with Josh.
I actually started playing trumpet when I was 8. They offered it in elementary school that I was going to, and so that's like the 4th grade. I actually picked the trumpet because it was a less popular instrument. I just wanted to be kind of like against the grain at the time. Everyone was going for sax and trombone, but you had to actually be like taller to play trombone.
Yeah.
At the time, I wasn't particularly a tall kid. I have that but the reason everyone liked trombone, I remember, is because you could do like the race car, like and that like won over all the kids. Like, oh, I want to do that. So I kind of just went against the grain. And
I tried to play trombone, didn't make it, so I just became an athlete and left it alone. Anyway,
there you go.
Let me not digress.
You found your niche.
I was introduced to drums by my father. He loved music, and he dabbled in playing drums when he was younger.
Okay.
Music was always around the house when I was a
Got you.
kid. I studied locally with a teacher named John Panino for a very long time. I studied in high school. I was in jazz band, concert band, marching band, drumline, everything. I did it all. So music, I was surrounded by it, all through high school. When I got out of high school, I played in pits for like plays. So I did stuff here locally on Staten Island, the city, Westchester. My reading skills are definitely not there anymore, but at one point in time, I was able to definitely read a Broadway drum book.
Wow.
Can't really do it anymore, yeah. But really most of my schooling has been playing live. I've been playing live since I was 14 years old, pretty much. So whether that was, through school, in high school here on Staten Island, or playing in bands, and my drums have taken me all over the place. So.
And you?
I started playing the guitar when I was like 9 years old.
Nice.
I come from a very musical family.
Okay.
I had a bunch of older cousins who were playing guitar and stuff at all the family parties.
Wow.
So I got very inspired by them.
Cool.
From there, I always took lessons. Played a little bit in a high school band. Played a little bit for College of Staten Island.
Okay.
A little bit of guitar in the jazz groups and whatnot.
Okay.
And besides that, just locally, trying to get involved with the music scene and playing as often as I can.
Cool. Cool.
I started playing saxophone in intermediate school, and then I got a guitar, and I stopped playing saxophone.
Almost immediately.
Almost immediately.
Wow.
And I played guitar for a few more years. I was classically trained after that.
Wow.
And then somewhere in my 20s, I couldn't find a good drummer, so I started playing drums for 10 years.
Yeah, Rory's a ripping
And
drummer.
then
Rory's a ripping drummer.
7 years later, I got into electronic music with the sequencers and synthesizers and stuff like that, and CV,
Wow.
modular synths. And then about 4 months ago, I picked up the bass. Was like, AJ, I'm playing bass now. Can I play bass with the
Holy cow.
Jazztronauts? And
Just like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Man.
He just picked it. Yeah.
So you're
Yeah,
a
he could-
multi-instrumentalist.
Scope.
Yeah, he plays it.
Wow.
You gotta see it
Wow.
all.
And something I heard, and I want people to know too, that these guys are on Staten Island, okay? And they're gigging
man.
on Staten Island.
Yes.
And that's important to know that we've got some local talent like this that's going to explode, by the way. Catch them while you can. And by the way, where are you playing now in Staten Island?
A lot of bars and restaurants. We have gigs coming up at Cargo Cafe, which is 120 Bay Street.
Okay.
On the 18th. Yeah.
Day after is another one, right?
We're at historic Richmond Town the next day on the 19th.
Yeah.
Wow.
And their outdoor beer garden thing they do there.
Jeez.
Pretty cool.
2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got 2 days in a row.
We got
November
Hop Shop.
And then November 2nd, we're at Hop Shop. November 15th, we're at Cargo. November 30th, we're back at Hop Shop. And we're booked like all the way out.
Okay.
till
Check the
January.
Instagram, the Jazztronauts on Instagram.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, tell them where,
Yeah.
Jazztronauts on Instagram,
Yep.
Yep,
the,
just like
the,
that.
The Jazztronauts.
the Jazztronauts,
THC.
and also on Facebook maybe.
Yeah, same thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Just type in the
Yeah.
Jazztronauts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, we have a release coming out October 24th, a
Okay.
3-song EP, so
And
keep an eye
these
out
guys
for
do
that.
play on that. They did the session
Okay.
with us. So
That'll be
October
dropped.
24th, Jazztronauts release.
Yeah, in stores everywhere, iTunes, Spotify, Google
Okay.
it. the Jazztronauts.
You guys shout it out, man.
Yeah,
You gotta
we'll
tell us
find
how
it.
we're gonna get there.
We'll
How we're
find
gonna
it.
get to this great music that you guys have. No, seriously, man. I like what you're doing. Listen, let's get back more to the music and here on Raw Music. I'm Tony Bellamy, and thank you for watching Raw. See you next time.